Welcome to the deep dive. We're setting out today on a journey, really, into the heart of some truly ancient wisdom and timeless stories.
That's right.
We're inviting you into a world that shaped a whole civilization for millennia, a story that's just so much more than a story.
Indeed. Today we're taking a deep dive into the Ramayana. It's an epic that, well, it isn't just a collection of tales, it's a really profound cultural and spiritual cornerstone. And our mission here is to distill its core narrative, unpack the most crucial insights, maybe share some surprising facts, and pull out those enduring lessons directly from the sources we've looked at.
Exactly. Think of this as like your essential shortcut to understanding the Ramayana's huge impact. We get to explore its many layers without getting totally lost.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is that the Ramayana is so much more than a story. It's a foundational pillar of Indian civilization. It's this grand epic teaching eternal values like Dharma.
Right, Dharma, that complex idea covering righteousness, duty, cosmic order.
Precisely. And alongside Dharma, you have duty, sacrifice, love, devotion, these huge themes.
And its influence is just immense, shaping India's moral, its spiritual fabric for centuries. You see it in art, literature, philosophy, even just, daily life.
Yeah.
It passes down these messages about ideal living, sacred family bonds, the triumph of truth. Generation after generation, it's really everywhere.
It is.
Now, something that might surprise you is that there isn't just one single Ramayana. We're actually looking at, two major paths to this epic.
That's a key point.
First, there's the original, the Valmiki Ramayana.
Yes, the original, composed by sage Valmiki. He heard the story of Sri Rama from sage Narada and then wrote it down.
And it's massive, right? Sanskrit, 24,000 verses.
Oh, yeah. 24,000 verses, 500 subsections, 7 main chapters, or cans. It's monumental.
And here's an incredible detail you mentioned earlier, the connection to the Gayatri Mantra.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but amazing. The first letter of every 1,000 verses in the Valmiki Ramayana actually forms part of the Gayatri Mantra. It really suggests Valmiki saw this not just as literature, but as almost a form of meditation, a divine pattern woven right into the text.
That's profound.
It really is. Then, contrasting that, we have hugely popular Ramcharitmanas by Goswami Tulsidas.
And this one's in the Awadhi language, right? More accessible.
Exactly. Written specifically to spread the glory of Lord Rama and his ideal life simply, effectively, to everyone.
And it came at a specific time, didn't it, when maybe respect for older traditions was waning?
That's right. There was a perception that respect for the Vedas and the traditional social structure, the Varnashrama system, was declining, sometimes even in the name of bhakti or devotion. So Tulsidas wanted to sort of reestablish those core social elements of Aryan Dharma for the common person.
Making it resonate deeply.
Yes, it's very much a reflection of Tulsidas' own deep personal devotion.
So this duality, Valmiki's original and Tulsidas' popular version, it shows how these epics evolve, right?
Absolutely. It's a classic example within the Indian knowledge tradition. The core story is constant, but the presentation adapts. Different lenses for different times, different audiences.
Ensuring the teachings reach everyone, from scholars to, anyone. It keeps the Ramayana relevant.
It's timeless because it adapts.
Okay, so let's talk about the structure. These 7 cans, or chapters, you said they're more than just a timeline.
Yes. They're often seen as the Zapsopan, 7 steps to human advancement, reflected in Lord Rama's life journey. Each one is a crucial stage, a test.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Balkand, childhood, the foundation.
Right. This is where we learn about the miraculous births. Sri Rama to Kausalya, Lakshmana and Shatrughna to Sumitra, Bharata to Kaikeyi, King Dasharatha's children.
And there's mention of an elder sister, Shanta.
Yes, Kausalya's elder sister, Shanta, who left with Shringi Rishi as part of the complex family background.
And the early deeds. Rama and Lakshmana protecting the sage.
Ah, sage Vishwamitra. He needs protection for his yagya, his sacred ritual from demons.
Yeah.
He asks Dasharatha for Rama and Lakshmana.
And Dasharatha must have been hesitant. They were so young.
Very hesitant. But Vashishta and Vishwamitra convince him, and it's here, very early on, that Rama slays the powerful demoness Tapaka, already establishing his role.
Protector of righteousness right from the start. And the story of Ahalya.
Oh, that's a deeply moving part. Ahalya was cursed, turned to stone because of Indra's deception involving her husband, sage Gautama. Rama's touch, his divine grace, liberates her.
A moment of pure compassion.
Definitely. Then comes the Swayamvar for Sita, her choosing ceremony.
And Rama breaks the unbreakable vow, Shiva's bow, Pinaka.
He does, which leads to this intense confrontation with Parashurama, who's furious. He's another avatar of Vishnu, actually.
Wow, okay.
But Parashurama eventually sees Rama's true divine nature, humbled by Rama's calmness and humility.
And this con ends with weddings.
Yes, joyous celebrations. Rama marries Sita, Lakshmana marries Urmila, Bharata weds Mandavi, and Shatrughna weds Shrutakirti, a foundation of alliances.
So the takeaway from Balkand isn't just childhood stories.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It shows that Rama's core character, his unwavering commitment to Dharma, it's innate. It's there from the very beginning, laying the foundation for everything to come. It makes you think, how are your early values shaping your path?
Good question. Okay, next up. Ayodhya Kand. Sacrifice and duty. This feels like a major shift.
It is. It starts joyfully. King Dasharatha decides to crown Rama as Yuvaraj, the Prince Regent. Ayodhya is celebrating.
But then, the twist?
The twist. The Maybenthara poisons Queen Kaikeyi's mind. Kaikeyi then demands those 2 boons Dasharatha promised her long ago from a war.
And those boons are devastating.
Utterly. 1, Rama must be exiled to the forest for 14 years. 2, her own son, Bharata, must be crowned king instead.
Dasharatha must have been heartbroken.
Completely shattered. Anguished, but Rama, his reaction is extraordinary.
He just accepts it, to honor his father's word.
Without hesitation. Unparalleled duty, filial piety. He puts his father's promise above the throne, above everything.
And Lakshmana insists on going too.
Absolutely. Intense fraternal devotion. And you mentioned that detail from the sources. Lakshmana supposedly didn't sleep for the entire 14 years, just constantly guarding Rama and Sita.
Incredible dedication. But the consequences are tragic. Dasharatha dies.
Yes, dies from grief. And then you have Bharata's reaction. He finds out what his mother did, what happened.
And he refuses the throne.
Completely refuses it. He goes to find Rama, begs him to come back. Rama refuses, bound by his duty. So Bharata takes Rama's sandals, the padukas,
Right, the sandals.
places them on the throne, and rules not as king, but as Rama's representative, living like an ascetic himself, sleeping on the floor, simple food waiting for Rama's return.
Wow, so much sacrifice in this one chapter. What's the core lesson for us?
It's a deep dive into duty, sacrifice, upholding your word, moral governance,
Yeah.
putting principles above personal gain. But it's also a stark warning about ambition, jealousy, how they can corrupt and destroy. It really asks you, what lines won't you cross? What principles are non-negotiable for you?
Heavy stuff. Okay, moving into the forest. Aranya Kand. Struggle and separation.
Yes, the setting shifts entirely. Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana are living in the Dandakaranya forest. They're not just surviving, they're actively protecting the sages living there from violent demons, upholding their Kshatriya Dharma, their duty as protectors.
So, more encounters with the demons.
Definitely. They slay a giant demon named Virata early on. But the really pivotal encounter is with Shurpanakha.
Ravana's sister. Right.
She develops an infatuation with Rama, gets rejected, tries to attack Sita.
And Lakshmana steps in.
He does, disfiguring her, cutting off her nose and ears to protect Sita. This act, driven by defense, has massive consequences.
She goes running to her brothers.
Exactly. Her brothers Kar and Dushan, powerful demons. They attack Rama with their army. But Rama, incredibly, defeats all 14 demons and their forces single-handedly.
Just amazing power. But this leads directly to Sita's abduction.
It does. Shurpanakha, defeated and humiliated, goes straight to her powerful brother Ravana, the king of Lanka. She tells him about Sita's beauty, inciting his desire and rage.
And Ravana plots his revenge. The golden deer.
Yes, the illusory golden deer, Maricha. A trick. Sita is enchanted. Ask Rama to get it for her. Rama goes after it.
Leaving Sita vulnerable.
Well, he slays the deer. But as Maricha dies, he mimics Rama's voice, crying for help. Sita hears this, panics, and insists Lakshmana go help Rama.
Even though Lakshmana probably knew better.
He tries to reassure her, but she insists. So he draws the Lakshmana Rekha, a protective line, instructing her not to cross it, and goes.
And, of course,
Ravana, disguised as a wandering holy man, a mendicant, appears. He tricks Sita into crossing the line to offer alms, and then grabs her, abducting her.
And the eagle Jatayu tries to stop him?
Yes, noble Jatayu fights valiantly but is mortally wounded by Ravana, a heartbreaking moment of loyalty.
And then we see Rama's reaction, described as profound anguish.
Absolutely. The text vividly portrays his grief, his despair. He's wandering the forest, calling out for Sita, completely distraught. It's deeply human.
So this Kand is a real turning point.
Critical. Peaceful exile becomes active, desperate conflict. And seeing the divine Rama experience such raw human sorrow, it makes him relatable, doesn't it? It shows how even the most profound personal struggles can ignite a larger divine purpose. Your own pain can fuel your mission.
Powerful point. Okay, next. Kishkinda Kand, alliance and justice. So Rama's grieving, searching.
Deeply grieving. And near Rishyamukha mountain, he meets Sugriva, the Vanara king, the monkey king. Although Sugriva is initially quite fearful and suspicious.
Enter Hanuman.
Exactly. Hanuman, Sugriva's wise and devoted minister. He acts as the bridge, recognizing Rama's divinity, reassuring Sugriva, and consoling Rama. He brings them together.
And they form an alliance.
A crucial alliance. They vow to help each other. Rama will help Sugriva regain his kingdom and wife Ruma from his powerful brother Vali.
Ah, Vali, the one who threw the skeleton.
That's the one. Sugriva tells Rama about Vali's incredible strength, throwing the massive skeleton of the demon Dundubi about 80 miles with just his toe. Just immense power.
So Rama agrees to help defeat Vali.
Yes. Rama helps Sugriva defeat Vali, who had unjustly treated Sugriva. This act restores Sugriva to the throne and is framed as restoring Dharma.
Justice served, alliance cemented.
Precisely. And now, with Sugriva as king of Kishkinda, he fulfills his promise to Rama. He commands his huge Vanara army.
To search for Sita.
Yes, sending them out in all four directions. And crucially, he sends Hanuman, his most capable minister, south towards Lanka.
So the significance here is about alliances.
Very much so. The importance of trust, strategic partnerships, and upholding justice. It also shows how seemingly separate struggles, Rama's search, Sugriva's exile, can intertwine as part of a larger divine plan. You need the right allies to achieve great things.
Makes sense. Now, Sundarkand, this one sounds special. Devotion and courage.
Oh, it truly is. Many consider it the heart of the Ramayana. It primarily focuses on Hanuman's journey.
His leap across the ocean.
That incredible leap to Lanka. It's a testament to his absolute faith, his devotion to Rama. It's physically impossible, but his bhakti makes it possible.
And he faces obstacles on the way.
Yes, several tests. The demoness Sarasa tests his intelligence. Sanhika tries to trap him by catching his shadow. And Lankini, the guardian demoness of Lanka itself, confronts him. He overcomes them all through strength, wit, and devotion.
Then he has to actually find Sita in Lanka.
Right. He meticulously searches Lanka, even Ravana's palaces. He observes everything. He even finds Vibhishana.
Ravana's righteous brother.
Yes, living separately, devoted to righteousness, even amidst the Rakshasas. This gives Hanuman hope.
And then he finds Sita.
Finally in the Ashoka Vatika, a beautiful garden, but she's distraught, tormented by Ravana's threats and pressure to submit.
But she refuses him.
Adamantly. She holds strong. A sympathetic demoness, Trijata, actually comforts Sita and tells her of a dream predicting Rama's victory.
And Hanuman makes contact.
Yes. He approaches her carefully, delivers Rama's ring as proof, tells her Rama is well but grieving, and is coming for her.
Does she ask him to rescue her then and there?
He offers, but she refuses. She says it must be Rama himself who defeats Ravana and rescues her honorably. It's about Rama's dharma, too.
Okay, so what does Hanuman do next? He doesn't just leave, right?
No way. He decides to make Lanka feel Rama's power. He destroys the beautiful Ashoka Vatika, a symbolic act. Then he fights and kills Ravana's son, Akshaya Kumar.
He escalates things.
Big time. He allows himself to be captured by another son, the powerful Meghnad, using a special weapon, the Nagpash. He's brought before Ravana.
The confrontation.
Yes. Hanuman boldly declares, I am Rama's messenger. He delivers a warning. Ravana, furious, wants to kill him, but Vibhishana reminds him, you don't kill a messenger. So Ravana orders Hanuman's tail to be set on fire.
Big mistake.
Huge mistake. Hanuman, using his divine powers, expands in size, breaks his bonds, and uses his burning tail to leap from rooftop to rooftop, setting the entire golden city of Lanka ablaze. Lanka Dahan.
Wow. Then he goes back to Sita.
Briefly, yes. To reassure her that help is coming, that Lanka is not invincible. Then he leaps back across the ocean.
Sundarkand really is all about Hanuman, the power of devotion.
Exactly. It's pure bhakti in action. Hanuman's journey is almost a spiritual allegory. Selfless service, unwavering faith, these give you limitless capabilities. Devotion overcomes all obstacles, internal and external. It literally burns down the city of demons.
Incredible chapter. Okay, the climax. Lankakand or Yudhakand, war and triumph.
This is it. Rama and the Vanara army reach the southern seashore. They need to cross to Lanka.
And Vibhishana joins them.
Yes, Ravana's brother Vibhishana, completely disgusted by Ravana's refusal to return Sita and his dharma, leaves Lanka and seeks refuge with Rama.
How does Rama react to the brother of his enemy?
Rama accepts him without hesitation. Total surrender to Dharma is welcomed. Rama even immediately declares Vibhishana the rightful future king of Lanka. It shows Rama's justice and compassion.
Okay, so how do they cross the ocean?
Rama prays to the ocean god for passage. The ocean god, initially unresponsive, appears after Rama shows his anger. He suggests that two Vanaras in the army, Nal and Nil, have a boon: anything they throw in the water will float.
So they build the bridge, Ramsetu.
Exactly. The Vanara army builds this incredible bridge across the ocean to Lanka. An amazing feat.
And then the war.
The Great War begins. Fierce, devastating battles, the Vanaras versus the Rakshasas. Many great warriors fall on both sides. Ravana loses mighty sons and warriors.
Including Kumbhakarna, the giant who slept for months.
Yes, the colossal Kumbhakarna. And the incredibly powerful Meghnad, master of illusions, who causes immense trouble for Rama's army. His wife Sulachana's grief when he falls really highlights the human cost of the war.
And finally, Rama versus Ravana.
The ultimate showdown. Ravana, despite all his power, his boons, his might, he represents tamas, ego, ignorance, demonic nature.
And Rama represents Dharma.
Exactly. Rama finally defeats and kills Ravana. It's the symbolic victory of good over evil, Dharma over Dharma. Remember that detail, Ravana had been warned that Sita was like a mother to him, an incarnation of Lakshmi, but his ego was too vast.
Ego leads to destruction.
Always. But the war is won, Ravana is defeated. Then comes a very difficult part, Sita's Agni Pariksha.
The trial by fire. Why?
To prove her purity publicly. After being captive in Ravana's city, societal norms, even then, demanded proof. Rama asks her to undergo it for the sake of public acceptance, for the legitimacy of the throne.
It's controversial, even if she's inherently pure.
Extremely controversial. And as the sources note, it raises complex questions, especially given Rama's apparent doubts later, leading to her second exile. It's a point of much debate and interpretation.
But she passes the ordeal.
Yes, the fire god Agni himself presents her unharmed to Rama, attesting to her purity.
And then they return to Ayodhya.
Yes, the 14 years are over. Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana return triumphantly to Ayodhya.
So Lanka Khand, it's the ultimate battle. Good versus evil.
It is the eternal conflict. Ravana's fall shows ego is self-destructive. But the Agni Pariksha, it forces us to grapple with the complexities of leadership, public perception versus private truth, and the immense personal sacrifices involved, even for divine figures.
Heavy. Okay, the final chapter. Uttarakhand, aftermath and legacy.
So they return to Ayodhya. Grand celebrations. Rama is finally crowned king. Joy everywhere.
And this starts the era of Ram Raja.
Yes, Ram Raja. The ideal kingdom. The embodiment of perfect governance, social harmony. The descriptions are idyllic.
No enmity, no fear, no sorrow, no disease.
Exactly. Trees, always fruitful. Natural enemies like lions and elephants living peacefully together. It's utopian.
And those specific points about punishment and conquest.
Right. Punishment, Dan, was only wielded by ascetics for self-discipline. Division, bedhead, was only a term used in classifying rhythms in dance. And conquer, Jito, meant only conquering your own mind. It redefined societal norms towards inner peace and righteousness.
It sounds perfect, but there's a shadow. Sita's second exile.
Yes, this is the truly tragic part of the Uttarakhand. Despite the Agni Pariksha, rumors and doubts surface among the citizens of Ayodhya about Sita's purity after being in Lanka.
And Rama, he banishes her, even though she's pregnant.
For the sake of his duty as king to uphold public order and quell dissent, he makes the heartbreaking decision to exile her. It highlights the terrible conflict between a ruler's public duty and personal life.
Where does she go?
She finds refuge in sage Valmiki's ashram, the same Valmiki who wrote the epic. There, she gives birth to her twin sons, Lava and Kusha.
And Valmiki teaches them the Ramayana.
Yes. They learn the entire epic from the sage herself without knowing their father's identity initially.
How are they reunited?
Years later, Rama performs a grand Ashwamedha Yagya, a horse sacrifice. Lava and Kusha come to Ayodhya and sing the Ramayana in his court. Rama recognizes the story, recognizes them as his sons. He calls for Sita.
Another trial?
He asks her to prove her purity once again before the assembly. But this time, Sita has had enough. Instead of another ordeal, she calls upon her mother, Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth.
And
the earth opens up, and Sita returns to her mother's embrace, leaving the mortal world. A powerful, tragic assertion of her truth.
And Ra.
Eventually, after establishing his sons, Rama himself decides his time in human form is over. He enters the Sarayu River and returns to his divine abode, Vaikuntha.
This can also addresses doubts about Rama's divinity, like Garuda's.
Yes, it clarifies things. Even though Rama experienced immense human suffering, grief, loss, difficult choices, It doesn't negate his divinity. It explores these philosophical layers, showing the divine existing within the human experience.
So Uttarakhand gives us the ideal of Ram Raja, but also the cost.
Exactly. The ideal is presented, but so are the profound complexities, the sacrifices, the sorrow involved in leadership and maintaining that ideal. Sita's story is central to this. It deepens our understanding of Rama's journey and asks us to really think about what an ideal society costs.
What a journey through the seven khans. So let's try to distill the Ramayana's timeless wisdom. What are the key messages for us, for you, listening today?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's duty, sacrifice, and dharma. Rama choosing exile over the throne, Bharata refusing that throne, Lakshmana's utter devotion.
Right, putting duty and righteousness above everything else.
It teaches that prioritizing dharma, your true calling, your duty over personal comfort or desire, leads to a fundamentally better, more integrated life.
Then there's Hanuman, the power of devotion, bhakti, and service.
Absolutely. Hanuman is the epitome. His selfless service, his bhakti, it wasn't just belief, it was action. It enabled him to do the impossible, cross the ocean, face demons, burn Lanka. Sundarkand shows this achievement of devotion is the key.
It overcomes obstacles, internal and external.
Precisely. It unlocks capabilities you didn't know you had.
And the big one, the ultimate triumph of truth and goodness.
Yes. Ravana had immense power, boons, everything. But his ego, his adharma, his unrighteousness led to his downfall. Goodness, dharma, ultimately prevails. That's the core affirmation.
And the ideal of Ram Raja, that vision of perfect governance.
It remains a powerful blueprint, doesn't it? Justice, peace, prosperity, harmony, no fear, no sorrow. A society rooted in righteousness, something to aspire towards, even if complex to achieve.
The epic also touches on karma and destiny, right? Even for Rama.
Definitely. It shows that challenges, hardships, sorrows, they arise even on the path of righteousness. Karma unfolds. Destiny plays a role. It's not about avoiding difficulty, but navigating it with dharma.
And the role of teachers, the guru.
Crucial. Vishwamitra guiding young Rama, Narada inspiring Valmiki, Tulsidas emphasizing the guru's words. The sources even hint that without a proper spiritual guide, even devotion can falter. Guidance is key.
And finally, something Tulsidas highlighted, love and compassion.
Yes, his beautiful point. How can one love God if they don't love humans? You have to cultivate love, compassion, forgiveness for fellow beings first. That's foundational to spiritual life, and it permeates the Ramayana.
So summing it all up,
the Ramayana is far more than history or myth. It's a living guide to human conduct. It gives us archetypes, the ideal son, brother, wife, devotee, king. It plays out the eternal battle between virtue and vice.
And ultimately affirms dharma and devotion.
Exactly. And the fact that we have interpretations like Valmiki's and Tulsidas's shows its incredible power to adapt, to stay relevant, speaking it generation after generation.
What an incredible deep dive. We've really only scratched the surface, but hopefully we've explored some of that profound depth, those enduring lessons. It truly is a timeless guide.
It really is. And as you, listening, reflect on all this, maybe consider this. The Ramayana has been reinterpreted, retold, adapted across so many ages, languages, cultures. What does that flexibility tell you about the nature of truth itself, about wisdom? And maybe more personally, in your own life, facing your own modern challenges, how might you reinterpret or apply the essence of these ancient tales? How can Rama's duty, Sidra's resilience, Hanuman's devotion inform how you navigate your world today?